Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Holt from Exodus and formerly from Slayer, and you're listening to The Razor's Edge.
Jørn of Bokassa, welcome to The Razor's Edge.
Thank you. Thank you.
So before we talk about the new album, if we jump back to before the days of Bokassa, how did you first get into music, and especially this style of music? What brought you into this?
I don't have a clear recollection, only that I heard something, saw something, and I thought it was really cool. Like for example, Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 2. I remember I heard that record. I think like a birthday party at when I was very small. Same with like Aerosmith's Get a Grip. I think I saw it on TV, that Living on the Edge, and I thought this was the coolest thing ever. And so it's probably that. And also I saw like pictures of Jimi Hendrix. I don't know if I had heard Jimi Hendrix, but I just saw pictures of him with a guitar. Thought it was awesome. So I was very small and just thought it was cool. And when I heard it, it was just something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and how did you as a band come together? Because you've been together as a band for quite a few years now. So where did you form, and how did that come about?
We formed in Trondheim in 2013. We had our first rehearsal in April of that year. And it was me and a buddy I was working with. We was talking about like we both liked stone rock of the Fu Manchu Queens of Stone Age kind, and also like punk rock kind of like NoFX. And I wanted to like combine these with like riffs and the melodies and speed from the others. And he had like a friend, or no, I don't know if you knew him, but he had played together with Olav in a Eurovision cover band at like a party or something. And then we had like a first rehearsal in like an old war bunker that had been turned into like a rehearsal space. It was like the worst sound you just imagine, just playing in a bunker. That was kind of it. And Olav came over, and it kind of just clicked, first thing, because I had some riffs and some kind of songy, and he just started playing on them. It just worked. That's how that came to be.
And you've gone on quite a journey from there, obviously through the
Yeah.
pandemic. You played stadiums with Metallica, and then you've gone on and done your own headline tour a couple of years ago. So when I last spoke to you, it was on the Molotov Rocktail album cycle.
Yeah.
Since then, you have had that UK headline tour. At the end of last year, you were out on the road with Therapy. How were those two tours for you?
The headline tour in 2021. You think one? Yeah, I thought it was a special tour, since it was like COVID was still a thing, so we had to do like those kits, those COVID kits, like every second day or something like that, and send them in the mail. And we had a tour manager at the time who was just really, very good at his job. So it's like, you can't do this, you can't do this. But it felt kind of isolated and that sort. But also it was really awesome to play again, because that whole European tour got moved to 2022, except the British dates, because they apparently didn't give a shit. And we were like, okay, let's play. So that was cool. And I really enjoy playing in England, just because I like the banter. I
Yeah.
like to talk to the Brits. There's always like a good amount of humor there. So our live show usually goes down quite well. And I also have like a fascination with your all of your like roadside diner kind of things. So it's very good, very what's it called, fascinating to me, because we don't have it in Norway. Everything in Norway is so strict and stuff like that. Like also you have like these Maltesers mint reindeer candy, which I bought
Yeah.
like 25 of them when we went over for therapy. So I just love that. You have Taco Bell. So yeah, I really love that stuff. But yeah, the therapy tour was great as well. We had like a mission to kind of we're thinking like their fans kind of appreciate a good melody and good hook. They also appreciate like this metal punk kind of mixture. So we thought this is probably a good fit for us to like win over some fans. And and we did a lot of merch there, and I think we gained like a lot of people following us as well. So hopefully when we come back, we'll have a lot of their fans as well.
Yeah, and we were gutted. We were supposed to see you in Birmingham. Obviously, it got cancelled. That and
Yeah.
the Cardiff date, but the Cardiff date, you managed to get a gig at Fuel. How was that last minute gig at Fuel for you?
I mean, I think that's the fastest we ever put a gig together. I guess because we were at first we were like, oh shit, what do we do? Just stay at like a, because it was Christmas, we could have like a Christmas party or something like that. But then again, we had been on the road, so we weren't like, oh yeah, let's drink some more. And we're like, okay, let's just try and put out like a post, maybe something, and then Fuel was like awesome, and I think it was announced the night before, and then we played, and no, it was great. It was cool to for the few that showed up, and it was cool for us to have a last show before we went home.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you compare fans in the UK to fans at home in Norway? Is there a difference in how they react to you on stage?
No, I think they're quite the same actually. Both are quite rowdy, uh, and both seem to get our jokes, like our stage banter,
Yeah.
which is not always the case. The Germans may get it, but they are more reserved.
Hmm.
And also I remember one gig in Holland a couple of years ago where he actually just there was this guy who just got so pissed off he went like try to get on stage because of our talking, and he's like, shut up. But that doesn't happen in Britain. Then it's like I like it. It's a lot of um, playful forth and back with
Yeah.
back and forth with the audience, and they yell stuff and I answer, and yeah, because I like it to be I like it to be different than an album.
Yeah.
So I enjoy when it's crowd participation or what you call it. So yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So in a couple of weeks, you release your fourth album, All Out of Dreams. I've had it on repeat last few days. It's nothing short of phenomenal, really. So how happy are you with the album?
Oh, I think I'm very happy. Like with every album we do, there's always things when I listen to it afterward, I'm like,
Yeah.
should like so you always want to change something, but this is probably the album that I'm most happy with, like sound wise and song arrangement and the speed and everything. Because sometimes I go back and I listen to it and like, yeah, I should have made that song faster, or why did I put that like that woe in there or something like that. But here I'm like, I'm really happy how it turned out. I think it's definitely our best album, in my opinion, which is not saying much, but I guess everybody says that when they're doing interviews on the new album. But there's something about it, and I think I think it has a lot of like a lot of those riffs, metal riffs are back, but also all of those melodies that's really important to me. And it's a fine balance where we can say, for example, Molotov Rocktail, as much as I love that album, it was much more probably in the popular side of things.
Yeah.
And you can have like Divide and Conquer, as much as I love that album, was much more in the heavier side of things. I think here you have this perfect alignment of our sound, this is how I want us to be.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very excited.
Excellent. And it's funny you describe it like that, actually, because I was looking through the interview I did with you like 2, 3 years ago, and I actually described Molotov Cocktail as a more accessible, radio-friendly album, and you've said that. So, um, did you approach the album and the recording of it any differently to the previous albums?
I had the idea for the sound because I wanted that kind of snare and that more like cold, what's it called, the more cold metallic sound of the record, because I want every album of ours to be different, like sounding, because I enjoy that myself, and I also had I wanted to whereas Molotov Rocktail was quite purposely, we did everything like all out. It was just like it was just like a big big sounding record with a lot of stuff. So I wanted to dial it down to quite basic, not that much of like backup vocals, not that much of effects, not that much of other instruments. So it was very conscious decision to get that, also because it kind of reflects the lyrical matter in the sound. But I think it's like whenever I hear a record, for example, just do the obvious. Metallica, they have like that cold sound of And Justice for All. Then you have that big rock sound of Reload. Then you have that, I don't know what you call it, sound of Saint Anger. And then you have like the loudness war of Death Magnetic. And I know probably a lot of fans don't like that and would have liked them to just do one sound. Probably like, I don't know. I think the best sounding records are the Reload records, but I think it's cool though that you can hear which era they are.
Yeah.
I think that's, as a listener, that's cool, instead of like albums that are just mixed the same way that you don't know. You can't, everything sounds like mid 2000,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm a massive Metallica fan, and I think you're absolutely right about listening to the albums and you hear the eras. But and to a certain extent, you can hear it on your albums and the progression you've made over the years.
Yeah, because like the first album is like it's a result of we don't have any idea. I think there's so many guitars there. Like usually you track maybe 2 on each side. I think there's 6 on each side. It's a dungeon of like guitars, more, and it sounds really like, I don't know, noisy because of that. And then the other records are more cleaned up, and then it is like a different sound, and I think it's cool because I can hear like the progress. So it's interesting, at least to me.
Yeah, and you mentioned that you always listen back to your albums, think, oh, if I tweak this or I tweak that, would it ever be on the table for you to go back and, rather than remix or remaster an album, completely re-record a previous work and re-release it and perfect it, if you like, and like a Divide and Conquer version 2 10 years down the line with which you've worked on and polished?
Nah, I think because I mean, people that listen to us may not necessarily disagree. I agree with it, me, but in my mind, I'm for each album or each song, I'm getting better at writing. So I think that like what I'm writing now, songs are better as songs, not necessarily like a better riff or something, but as songs than what I've done earlier. I probably people who love Divide and Conquer wouldn't agree, but to me, it don't make no sense to like go back and try to perfect it, because that's the sound. It's kind of like with those bands who, they are like in the studio for years. Whereas our records are time frames, so like just 1 week or maybe sometimes just a couple of days that would just like, that's how we sound. And I like that. There's an honesty to it. And it's just, that's how the band sounds, for better or worse. So I wouldn't want to fix it, but it is sometimes bothering me. But it's often like, sometimes it's speed that I'm like, should have been faster. Or maybe like, should have been a bit slower to get the groove. But it's also often like mixing stuff, like why am I also so fucking loud, and why, like, because you can really hear that, because everybody was complaining about Divide and Conquer, because I said to the mixer, I said, turn my vocals down, because I hated them. So I just got to bury it, and then we played live, and people were like, oh, I really like it when I can hear your voice. They're just talking about it all the time. So second album, the vocals are so fucking loud because of that. So stuff like that, I'm like, man, should have just thought about it some more. But it is what it is.
Absolutely. So you switched to indie recordings for this album. Is it any different working with them compared to Napalm Records, who you worked with on your last album?
Yeah, I think so. Napalm is, of course, a like much bigger label, has a lot of power. But the difference here is of course that you have more participation yourself, but also the fact that it is in Norway means that I can just pop into the office, and also can run into them. like on a show, and it feels kind of cool to be in a Norwegian label, and also to just, if I want to, like, the record just arrived now.
Mm.
And I'm gonna pop by the other day and just watch it, which was an option with Napalm, because it's in Austria and German and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's something cool about that, and also that you can have meetings face to face, not just Zoom.
Yeah.
And a lot of our friends and stuff are on indie, because it's the only, it's the rock label in Norway.
Yeah.
So it's cool to be there also. Like, we are kind of nomads, I guess.
Yeah, I was looking through the back catalogue, and actually every album's on a different label, isn't it? So
Yeah.
Just to touch on it, a week or so ago now, Bard announced that he's leaving the band. So, how long have you known that was it? That was on his mind, and how is it affecting you as a band?
He told us in end of December. I think he sent us like a message and like a long text, and it wasn't like, we weren't like angry or something. We understand him, and I guess it's like it's his story to tell. But as I understand it, it has kind of drained him to be on a stage, I think, because not everybody has that. Like, for me, I get kind of excited about it, but not everybody is the same. And I think, or that in combination with everything, with his family and private life, I think he felt it was time to step down, and we respect it. And we kind of, first, we didn't do anything about it, because but I think, when did we announce it? It was like mid-January, maybe.
Yeah, a week or so ago, I think.
Yeah. Because the first 2 weeks we didn't like, but then we started like to rehearse with new bass player. So, and Bård also said that if there's an issue, he can pop in and play.
Yeah.
But it was like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I understand him. If he wants to do that, I think it would be good for him if he has felt it that way, and we wish him the best. Kind of.
Yeah, excellent. So, you mentioned you're rehearsing a bass player. Have you got his replacement lined up then? Have you got someone in mind?
Yeah. I mean, we haven't announced anything, but we will try him out now on the new tour.
Yeah.
And this is a guy we've known for many years. So it should be it shouldn't be a problem, unless unless something comes up. But yeah, no, we will have rehearsed a set for the festival and the tour, and we will play. And if everybody feels that this is like a good vibe, then we'll go on. I don't want to be like, because me and Olav are famously known for just making decisions like this, so we want to take some time. But I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So where do you as a band go from here? Your album comes out in a couple of weeks. What are your plans for the rest of 2024?
Yeah, we had Norwegian tour up until May, and so we're really excited about that because we haven't played a proper Norwegian tour since the pandemic, and that was like probably 7 out of 10 shows were like seated, stuff like that. So we're really excited. And then we have festivals. We're going to Wacken again.
Yeah.
Tom's Rock, Summer Breeze, Reload. Also going to Resurrection Fest in Spain for the first time. Greenfield in Switzerland. Like a lot of cool stuff. We're really excited about that. And then we have we haven't booked anything, but we have planned a European tour and a UK tour.
Excellent.
Probably in October, November, I imagine. We haven't booked it, but it is in the works. I have been told. So yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. I'm looking forward to you coming back to the UK, because obviously the therapy show I was going to got cancelled, and so we missed you.
Yeah.
And it's actually this coming weekend, but obviously you're not on the bill anymore, so we get
Yeah,
to.
yeah. We got offered, but it didn't make sense to just, to go in 2024.
Yeah, that makes sense. So other than touring and recording, which obviously takes up a lot of your time, how do you unwind between the tours and the music? What keeps you occupied away from it?
Well, I play a lot of Xbox. Like I've been playing Starfield. I just finished Starfield actually. So now I'm playing Mad Max, which is an older game. And I also have become like obsessed with these YouTube shows. Like I found this guy called Silly, he just plays like I believe the phrasing now is boomer shooters,
Right.
but it is like FPS that I grew up on. So he plays like kind of Duke Nukem
Yeah.
and Wolfenstein and stuff like that, and also some obscure shooters. So I just watched that for some reason. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I unwind, I guess. Yeah, that's basically, and I read a lot of like band biographies, and I do these deep dives in new bands. It doesn't need to be like new, but just bands that I discover, and I just get if I find something I like, I get just kind of obsessed about it.
Yeah.
So I enjoy doing that stuff. I guess I guess my girlfriend don't like it if I like. She doesn't say anything, but I don't. Like, if I get obsessed with like a band or something, I just play it
Yeah.
24/7.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. So
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure talking to you this evening. And I wish you all the best with the release of All Out of Dreams, which is out on Indie Recordings on February the 16th. So I hope it goes really well for you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you keep up to date with all of our interviews by subscribing to our channel. For all the latest news, reviews, interviews, and more, head over to our website, www.therazorsedge.rocks.